All right. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. My name is Vex. It is December 2023, and I am currently your head mod for Scions of Silvery Moon, the West Marches play-by-post Discord server. And today I'm going to show you how to use Dicecloud to create a character sheet. We are in the process of transitioning from D&D Beyond to Dicecloud as we are looking for character sheets that are a little less paywalled than D&D Beyond. So let's do a quick tour of Dicecloud to get our bearings before we start character creation. And as I am making this for the Silvery Moon Discord server, I'm going to be referencing a lot of our rules and a lot of our, character creation guidelines. But if you are not on this Discord server, please feel free to use this video as well to help because Dicecloud can be a little intimidating, but it is a great resource. And if you find this video helpful, I hope you do. So let's take a quick tour. You can see we're on the homepage of dicecloud.com here. This just tells you a little bit about the service. So you have your sidebar over here with your username, home, characters, library, files, feedback, about, documentation, and then external tabs for Patreon and GitHub. And then down at the bottom, you'll see that all of my characters that I've made already are listed here in alphabetical order. We have Harrow, Katja, and Peregrine. You can click this little hamburger menu to hide the sidebar. I like to leave it open just for ease of navigation. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Library. And this is where all the content that you're going to pull from for character creation kind of lives and hangs out. So to find the libraries, you hit Browse Community Libraries, subscribe to Dicecloud 5th Edition SRD. That is only the freely available material. But as D&D players, you know we love our funky subclasses, our funky races, all kinds of stuff that is not freely available SRD. So, to access that material, subscribe to Libraries of Vexus. Libraries of Vexus Homebrew. It does contain a lot of homebrew material, which we do not allow on Silvery Moon. Your mileage may vary if you're using this for off-server things. Subscribe to it anyway because it does contain Blood Hunter. We love our Blood Hunters. And also subscribe to Blood Hunter version 1.1. That is the original version that Matt Mercer released, I believe, in 2017 or 18. And I think the Libraries of Vexus one may be the update, the 2020 update. So we allow both. So subscribe to both of those. Excuse me. And then scroll a little farther down until you see here the Critical Role content collection. We allow Critical Role content. We love Critical Role content. So make sure you subscribe to that. Do not subscribe to any of these other ones. They're personal homebrew. There's Baldur's Gate powers. We don't allow that. We love Baldur's Gate, but we don't allow Illithid powers. These other homebrews, don't worry about them. They are for other games and other systems. If you find them useful elsewhere, feel free to use them. Silvery Moon does not. So once you have subscribed to those libraries, go to characters. Again, you can see my 3 kids here. We are going to click the red plus in the bottom right-hand corner to create a new character. Today, I'm going to be making my next character for the server. Her name is Nocturne. She's chaotic, neutral-ish. You add gender, and you can type anything you want here. If I wanted her to be chaotic stupid, that would also be fine. And as you can see on my character list, I also had a character who was non-binary. You can type that in as well. You can type whatever you want in these 3 slots. And Silvery Moon, we start at level 4, so go ahead and pop that in. And then next, this is where you select the libraries that you're going to pull from for this character. Make sure all 4 of these are selected. Critical Role, Dicecloud 5th Edition SRD, Libraries of Vexus, and Official Libraries of Vexus Homebrew. You can expand it here and see the specific things that are that are included in this library. So if you don't want something like, say, I don't want bag of slot fillers, it won't let me uncheck that. So we'll go over that later on. And then official libraries of Vexus Homebrew. We're not going to be worried about most of this. We're mainly concerned with Bloodhunter. So hit create. You have Nocturne here, so click her name to open. Rule set, this is the first thing that we're going to select. This is the basic rule set. So like we mentioned earlier, Dicecloud 5th edition SRD is just the freely available things. So what we want to do is select Tamarin's Library of Everything. That's going to be all currently published content. So click that and insert. And then this is going to have a tutorial that is actually pretty good. It's how I learned Dicecloud. So you can just click through on this, make sure that Libraries of Vexus are here and that Published Homebrew is here. So proceed to sources, and this is where you're going to pick your source books and materials that we use. Don't worry about Unearthed Arcana and don't worry about Homebrew for Silvery Moon, but do select all of the bundles except for Planeshift and except for Unearthed Arcana. So make sure you have additional character options, Adventurers League, Adventures, Setting Supplements checked. And that's going to include all of these books down here, so you don't have to click them individually. It's very convenient. And then hit insert. And then you can close this. And then proceed to house rules. Silver Moon doesn't have house rules that we use. We just use rules as written. And then click extensions. These are just things to maybe make your life a little easier or add things to your character sheet that you might find nice to have. I usually only do show temp HP because I like to just have those separate and visible. So I'm going to insert that and then close extension. Then proceed to character creation. This is the fun part. So, like on D&D Beyond, you can start with race, or you can pick a starting class, or you can start with your ability scores. It's whatever you feel like. You can click these cards in any order. So let's pick starting class, because that's how I like to start. And Nocturne is a bard, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now you see it added a bunch more cards for us to click on. We have her skill proficiencies, we have her musical instruments, and we have her starting funds and starting equipment. But let's continue fleshing out this character altogether. So let's click race, and you can see here we have both the legacy content here that was published in I think this might have been Volo's Guide to Monsters or Xanathar's it was either Volo's or Xanathar's. I cannot recall. I can never remember. But you see, we have access to both Legacy and Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse. You can use whichever version of those you want. Both of those are allowed. We have our list of restricted races and banned content on the Silvery Moon server. So just make sure that you are abiding by those rules. And again, if you're not making a character for the server, have fun. So let's scroll. You can see only part of the list of available races was loaded because there are a lot of them, especially considering both legacy and multiverse content. Let's keep going. Let's keep going until I find what I want. Just click load more. And then there she is. Nocturne is a tiefling. So let's go ahead and select and insert that. And then you can see over here, her infernal bloodline pops up. So let's go ahead and pick that. Let's put her on Dispatter. Now we do use the Tasha's rule where you can customize your racial bonuses. You don't have to go with what is written is in the book. So let's expand this. And you see down here under race tiefling, we have the +2 ability score increase at charisma and +1 ability score increase at race. So let's open Dispatter and see what that gets us. So let's say that I really liked the Legacy of Dis additional spells. I really want her to have Thaumaturgy, Disguise Self, and Detect Thoughts. But say I was playing a class other than a bard. Let's say I was playing maybe a barbarian. But I want those Dispatter spells. So what you do is you just click the trash can by the ASI race, and that'll remove that ability from that race that it defaults to. And then you can click here, the +2 ASI race, and decide where to allocate that. If Nocturne was a barbarian, I might put it +2 strength here, and then her +1 in constitution. So it's as easy as that to move your racial ability scores around. Unfortunately, Nocturne is a bard, so we are going to just put those back where they were. So I want her +2 ASI in charisma, and I want her +1 ASI in dexterity. And now we continue on with character creation as normal. So let's pick her background. Again, we have our list of restricted content on the Silvery Moon server, and we also have access here in Dicecloud to both your regular backgrounds like Acolyte and the Baldur's Gate versions that were published in Descent to Avernus. So let's just scroll and see and find the one I want for Nocturne. I am going to pick Faceless for her and click Insert. That's going to pull up another card. That is the language proficiency. Let's pick Celestial for that, just to get her background stuff done. Then base ability scores here. This is the ability scores. So this is how you determine what your character is good at, what their strengths are. So on Silvery Moon, we do point by, but obviously you see here, you can input them manually, you can do rolling, you can do standard array. So let's check point by, insert, click base ability scores here, and you see we have 27 points to spend. So since she's a bard, let's max out her charisma, and that'll show we've spent 9 points. So let's make her dexterity pretty high as well. Remember, we have that +1 from the racial ability scores. And then next, I want her constitution to be like a little bit above average to help maintain concentration on spells. I kind of like to play dumb characters, so I want her to be kind of book smart, I think, but maybe a little lacking on wisdom. Maybe she's just average on wisdom. And then maybe average strength. We still have one more point to spend, so let's do that for Constitution. And there you have it. 27 points spent on Nocturne's ability scores, so we can close that and then X out of that. Then we pick her skill proficiencies here, and all of them are listed here in alphabetical order. So let's go ahead and pick some. I obviously want her performance to be a proficiency. I want her persuasion, and let's do religion. And then you hit insert, and we're done with that. John's spell slot structure is a feature that for casters, half casters or full casters, you need this to have your spell slots on the sheet. So we're just going to go ahead and check that. Insert, open JSSS spellcasting type here, and we use just regular spellcasting. I don't know how spell points work, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. So let's insert that, and we're good to go on that. And then we do, on Silvery Moon, we do starting equipment. So let's open that card, click Bard starting equipment, insert. So let's go ahead and pick that from the 3 cards that have shown up. Weapon choice. I want Nocturne to have a rapier. So let's go ahead and insert that. Her pack choice. This is your basic, explorers pack, diplomats, entertainers, dungeoneers, burglars, your basic starting equipment. And then musical instrument choice. I want to go ahead and give her her dulcimer. So let's insert that. And then let's pick what musical instrument she knows. You can do this again in whatever order. So let's do dulcimer. Let's do lute and viol. I think those will be nice. So insert. And then over here, let's do her level up because we have 4 levels. Let's do Bard 3. So that gives us some more cards to fill out. So we have level 2 optional Bard features. We allow all the optional features, so just go ahead and click Magical Inspiration. Let's pick her Bard College. Open that card, click College of Glamour. You can see that all of the Bard colleges are available here. Insert, then click Expertise. So let's put her expertise in Performance and Intimidation. Maybe I want her to be a little bit scary too. So insert, that's the Bard classes. Now we are one level short because I want a multi-class Nocturne. If you were doing a regular character that is not multi-classed, you just would, select. Let's go back. You would just select this and then level her up to Bard 4, and that is a starting character. For a multi-class, you would do, Bard 3, Bard 2, whatever split that you have, and then click the multi-class card. And then Dicecloud does a really cool thing in that it only shows you the multi-classes you're eligible for by rules as written. So if I wanted to multi-class Nocturne into, let's say I wanted to be really silly and do a Barbarian, I could not do that because her stats aren't high enough for that. If I wanted to multi-class her into Cleric, her stats are not high enough for that, but her stats are enough for Fighter, for Rogue, for Sorcerer, and for Warlock. Nocturne is a Bard lock, so let's check that. Insert. We can close the multi-class tab now because this is only a double-classed character. If you do a triple-classed character, more than welcome to do so. Then we click spellcasting type again. It's the same card as earlier, but since she's a warlock, you click pack magic as well. Insert. And then now we just pick her otherworldly patron, and her patron is the fiend. So let's click insert, and that is your basic character creation. If this was a martial character, we would stop here. Nocturne is a caster. So let's scroll down here on slots and you go until you see your bard, and then the ones in red are the ones that we need to fill out. So bard cantrips, let's go ahead and select those. So you can see down here we have 2 to select. Let's do message, and of course bard vicious mockery. We gotta insert. That's our cantrip selected. So now we do bard spells. There are a lot of spells, so sometimes they won't load when you open this. You just click load more, and that'll open them all up. To make things easier, because this does show every spell that a bard can know. Doesn't matter what level, it shows all of them. So to make things easier, you can just click as you don't click it. You can if you want to, but it won't do anything. As indicated here, you can type spell level, and then I can't type today. Level, and then the number of the level spell you want. So let's do her level 1s first. Uncheck that. Spell level 1. I said uncheck that. Thank you. Spell level 1. So here's all her level 1 spells that are available. And we only have 6 spells to select, and that has to be split between first and second levels. So what I want to do is just do a quick little look. Let's do Healing Word. Let's do Silvery Barbs, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, and let's do Bane. I like Bane. And insert. You don't have to do this separately, but I find it easier to just select my first levels and then close it out and then select my second levels. Your mileage may vary. So let's open these up again. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay. It takes a minute. Spell level 2. Okay, now let's pick some second levels. I want to pick Enhanceability. I really like that. And Shatter. That's a good one. And insert. And that's the bard spells picked. To pick her warlock spells, we open multi-class, open warlock, and then open cantrips. Let's pick her warlock cantrips. Eldritch Blast, Of course, it's a good one. It's a classic for a reason. And then let's do Mind Sliver. That's another favorite of mine. Insert. That's Warlock cantrips selected. Expand Warlock spells known. Click the plus sign. And then again, it's spell level 1. She is only a level 1 Warlock, so that's all we're going to have access to. For this, let's take a quick look. Let's do Hellish Rebuke here. And we'll do Armor of Agathis. Insert. And that's spells taken care of. So you can close this now because she is only multi-classed once. It has the red plus sign in case you want to add another multi-class, but we don't want to do that for her. So we can close that. We can close conditions. We can close extensions. We can close patches. We can close items. There is a way that you can add items to your sheet on Dicecloud. As a level 4 character just entering the server, you won't have anything that's not standard equipment yet. When you start getting magic items, that will get a little funky, but we are going to have a separate video on how to add magic items to this, as well as a lot of them are not available in the libraries that we've selected. And we can also close sources because we don't need to look at them anymore. They just need to be there. You can close as many of these as you want just to make life a little bit easier and neater. And that is the build page. You see here we have Bard 3, Warlock 1. You can permanently hide this card for the tutorial and we'll be good to go. And so let's take a look at her character sheet. Here it is. You can look at your character's stats. Nocturne has 27 hit points, 0 temporary hit points. You can see her resistance over here is to fire. You see her standard, her ability scores here: speed, armor class, dark vision, proficiency, initiative, hit dice, bardic inspiration, saving throws, skills. Proficient skills are the full circle. Expertise skills look kind of like an eye or maybe a bullseye. And then everything else is this kind of moon shape. Her languages here, tools here, armor, weapons, all of these are proficiencies. And if we go to her inventory, you can see our starting equipment here. On Silvery Moon, we start with 400 gold per character, just blanket flat regardless of where you come from. So you click to add that, click the abacus here, and then just type 400, check mark, and you're good to go. It's going to increase your weight carried. We don't usually concern ourselves with carry weight. So you see here in our carried, we have all of the items that we have, but in our actions, we don't have a rapier to attack with. And in our stats, our armor class is just the standard 10 plus your dexterity modifier, which, because Nocturne wears leather armor, should be a little higher. So to equip those, you click it and drag it over to equipped. So let's do that for leather armor, rapier, and I want to go ahead and equip her dulcimer. And now you can see on actions, we have the rapier here. To make an attack with it, you click and roll. That's a miss because I don't know anything with an AC of an 8. And then on your stats, you can see that her AC is now a 13. To cast a spell, we go to the Spells tab, and you can see all the spells that we know here and here. You are free to change them out as allowed in rules as written. See all of her spells available here. 1 spell slot level for Pact Magic, and 6 for spell casting from the Bard spell list. Her Tiefling spell list here, Bard spells, Warlock spells. So let's cast Eldritch Blast. So let's click that, and then click the icon here. And it brings up the next window, which is cast without a spell slot. Because this is a cantrip, you select that, and it doesn't use a spell slot. You click cast. For a warlock spell that would take a spell slot, like Armor of Agathis, let's click that, cast it, and you can choose the spell slot that you want to cast it with here. You can cast it with a regular spell slot, you can cast it with a packed spell slot, or you can cast it with a second level regular spell slot. That kind of adds a little bit of differentiation, but it all ends up being the same. Let's cast it with the first level regular spell slot, and you see that it's taken off here. So we've gone over inventory, we've gone over actions. Let's go to features. This is all of your class features. We have Dark Vision, Legacy of Dis, Dual Personalities from the Faceless Background, Bard Spellcasting, Pact Magic, Mantle of Inspiration. All of the class features and racial features are going to be here in this tab. And then lastly, we have Journal. So you can see the questions I answered at the beginning: her name, alignment, and gender. Physical description, physical description, ideals, bonds, personalities, traits, flaws. You can just click these up, edit, and you can type anything you want. Like if I just wanted to say 5 foot flat and annoying, I just click done, and that shows up here. Same thing for all 5 of these. Race info, you just click and open that. You can edit this, or you can just leave it to read a little bit about tieflings. And then Tamarin's Library of Everything. This is just a card talking about this library. So let's say we want to get rid of it, which I do. So we click edit, click this meatball menu, and then delete. There you have it. So that is how you create a character on Dicecloud. We can close this. We can take a long rest, get our spell slot back, delete that buff. But I think that is the basics of it. Like I said, we will have a video on how to add magic items because they do get a little funky. I hope you found this helpful, and maybe I will see you out there in the Forgotten Realms. Have a great day.